Hey, James Eagleman at EagleBallistics, and representing right now the TRACT Traurric range-finding binocular that we just released at SHOT Show. I want to kind of talk about it. I'm going to talk about the body first and the construction. Now, John's background with Nikon and optics, and then mine with ballistics and long-range shooting for 40 years. We've kind of gotten together, and what I think has built one of the best ballistic rangefinders on the market. Now, we got high transmission shot glass, so that's excellent glass. I've tested these against some of the other high-end rangefinders, including Traurric, and I'm telling you the glass is excellent compared to that. Now, on the body construction, it's aluminum underneath this coating. It has aluminum eyepieces that lock solid. You can't push them down. And something else John did was pretty interesting is these are your focus rings on each eyepiece. They lift up so you can adjust them, and then you push them down to lock them. Again, pretty smart. And one thing I told John is that I've used rangefinders all over the world, and I've always accidentally hit the mode button. So I said, let's make it a standalone fire button, and we extruded it so you can feel it a little bit with gloves on. The mode button's over here. Of course, quarter 20 for your mount. If you're going to mount it on top of, you just unscrew this on a tripod. This is wind direction button. This is wind speed button. And of course, when I say speed, this increases and this decreases. We have selectable reticles, which means you can have a bunch of information on a reticle, or you can have almost no information on a reticle. That way it's nice and clean display, or it's a full display. Now, I personally like the full display because it's going to show you the inclination, the azimuth. It's going to show you the temperature. It's going to show you the compass direction, max ordinate of the projectile, flight time to get to the target, and it's also going to show you the retained velocity on impact. So I like that information. The other thing we have is it's a 0.5 MRAD beam. What that means in general, it's about 1.8 inches at 100 yards, and it's going to be about 18 inches at 1,000 yards of dispersion as it gets out further. It has 5 crosshairs. You select them. If you see me looking to the right, I'm looking at my screen because I got so much information. I got to remember what to say. So I've got a cross, a circle, an oval, which is one of the gentlemen from the Long Range Hunting Forum came up with. And because animals are elongated body-wise, and from back to brisket, they're shorter. So we got kind of an oval to kind of fit the animal in there. And then my favorite that I decided that I wanted to have in there with John is a 2-minute dot and a 1-minute dot in case you're shooting at something really small at long range. We have an adjustable hotspot, which means inside the rangefinder, you don't need to connect it to an app like some other ones. You can literally adjust where the beam is in relation to the crosshairs. So if it's not exact, you can literally adjust it inside the rangefinder. It'll hold 5 rifle profiles, no A, B, C, or D. Literally, if I name it 7 PRC 180 grain, it'll show up in here 7 PRC 180 grain. You don't have to guess which one it is. And again, we have the easy access cap. This is where you actually put in the battery. It's inside the focus knob. And again, extruded buttons for gloves. Now, you can't really wear really thick gloves to get on them. All right, the wind direction and wind speed, even though they're external, I want to talk about something I did with John to make this even better than what's out there. If you push and hold the negative button, of course, it decreases the wind, and then it increases the wind, but let's talk about that. So over the years, all the rangefinders I've ran, they're in 1 mile an hour increments. This is in half a mile an hour wind increment. And the beauty of it is, computer's falling asleep. The beauty of it is that I can tap this and go in half mile an hour wind increments, but if I push and hold it, it'll go really fast, and that way you can increase the wind quickly. Wind direction button. It's a clock that's always up at all times if you have it turned on inside of the displays. But it's in 30s. In other words, 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12:30. That way it's more accurate than just 10, 11, 12 o'clock wind. And again, you push this to change the wind direction, and then you push these to increase or decrease. The internal compass calibration is really, really easy. You go down to it, run it in a figure 8, and it's done, and everything gets taken care of. It's got last range memory. That means if I let this fall asleep, put it in my pack, and I wake it up 20 minutes later, 2 hours later, 2 days later, hit the fire button, tap it once, it'll automatically have the last data that you used it at before. Just like Eagle Ballistics app, if I wake it up 6 weeks from now, it's going to have the exact same range and data that I had last time. That way you don't have to guess. So if you're ranging elk and you get ready to shoot and you're like, oh man, what was my wind hold? Just tap it to wake it up and there's your wind hold. It has relative wind tracking. Now, I don't know if it's actually called tracking, but it's just something I came up with. What does that mean? So let's say that I got a target out there at my 12 o'clock and I set the wind for 10:30 at 5 mile an hour. All of a sudden, a better animal comes out to the right. So I rearrange the animal. The digital compass knows what direction you're now ranging, and it knows what you had the wind at earlier. It will readjust where the wind's coming from automatically. So it's basically tracking your new shooting position or new shooting direction and readjusting where the wind's coming from. It also has live wind buttons. As soon as you waken up, the buttons are live. So I can immediately start adjusting the wind. Let's say I got a target out there at 720 yards. I range it. There's my dial-ups, and then my crosswinds if I got the wind coming from 3 o'clock. Instead of having to rearrange the target after I adjust the wind, which most rangefinders you have to, the wind buttons are live. So let me kind of put this in perspective. Target's at 7 something. Wind's coming at 5 mile an hour from 3 o'clock. If I feel the wind pick up or see the mirage or rain change, I can instantly change wind speed. Then all my data readjusts automatically. My wind hold adjust, my aerodynamic jump crosswinds readjust for elevation. Super, super smart rangefinder. You guys are going to love this thing. It will allow you to either get the temperature from the body or you can manually go in and set the temperature. All right. So let's talk about that real quick. The Eagle Ballistics engine is the engine inside of it. I know I mentioned that earlier. It is taking care of all environmentals, earth and secondary base effects. The rangefinder has an angle inclinometer, a digital compass, temperature, pressure, humidity sensor. It is a standalone unit once you load the profiles from Eagle Ballistics, but this will also work in conjunction with Eagle Ballistics. If I connect it, it automatically sends data to the app, and then you can have the app here and it'll give you all the information. One thing you're going to like about Eagle Ballistics inside of this is it matches. How many times have you picked up a rangefinder from other companies? I'm not going to insult them. And then on their app, it says the dial-ups are X and the rangefinder is different. Ours match. So I don't know why theirs doesn't, but I'm not going to get into that. All right, hopefully this is a good, quick overview. I'm going to throw up some slides. I'll show you some real menu video images, but it's so hard to record through a monocular or binocular. You meant what I knew. And I'm going to actually throw up slides of some of the stuff as we go. All right, if you have any questions, get a hold of me. And, of course, EagleBallistics@gmail.com or get a hold of TRACT. These are coming out late March, early April, and pretty much under $2,000. And you guys are going to love them.